Welcome back to my channel, and thank you for watching this video. So today I'm going to be working on the themes that are coming from the A Day in the Life of an Astronaut album that was recently released. I kind of want to do a short 3-track EP that has just the themes stripped back, basically just piano, maybe a couple strings here and there that people can go and listen to. I think it's kind of a cool way to continue the story, because these 3 tracks here that have the themes is how the whole album was built. Okay, so this home theme, you're going to be able to hear little bits of it in the last instrumental track called The Final Transmission. That's going to be the 7th track on the album. If you've already heard the album, you can go back and listen to it after this video. Try and pay attention and see if you can recognize where the theme pops up. What I want to do with this specific one is make it nicer to listen to, because right now some of the notes are kind of high-pitched, or there's not much of a nice background. Maybe a drone, I could add some strings or something to it to make it more interesting to listen to. So let me go ahead and just listen straight through it, and then we will see what I can change. Right now it's only 1 minute and 24 seconds long. Okay, great. So I noticed a couple of things, and you would have seen me writing it down as we went along. Measure 23, not on beat. Okay, so these are the 3 things that I kind of noticed right off the bat. Also here in measure 2, I wanted to shorten the long note. It kind of feels a little bit too long. So let me start working on this stuff. So here, okay, right there is where I feel like the rest of it should come in. I'm going to just minimize that right now, and I'm going to take the automations page off. I hope this is on beat. Okay, great. So that means now I have to drag everything else over there. Something that I have learned, and this here was really early on in the album. Of course, because I'm developing the album off the theme. So something that I have learned now is to record even just the most basic thing with the metronome. Just keep it on beat. This here, I didn't do that. So there are parts of it that are not going to be on beat if I played it with the metronome. Okay, great. So now that note is shortened, it sounds a lot better there. So I'm not going to delete it. I like to kind of keep a record of what I did I'm just gonna write complete. Okay, right here. I remember that now. That's one of the other things I need to do. So something is being held for too long, and I think it's probably going to be this higher, the melody right here. Yeah. Yeah. This note here, what is that? That is an F. That note is being held for too long. So I need to change the sustain on that. Sustain is always going to be changed just a tad bit after the change in the note. And that's something that you would learn when you're learning piano. And also here, I want to change here. Okay, let's see how that sounds now. I forgot here to make this change. So I need another small change right there. You have to zoom in, bring that piece down. I kind of like that overlapping note right there in the higher part. Okay. Whoops. That extra ringing kind of adds a nice bit to it, but I guess cut off really quickly right there. So let me hear this part now. Okay, so here I'm going to change the sustain. It seems like I don't change it throughout the rest of the thing, but I'm going to change the sustain to right after this note. I wonder what that's going to sound like. That's how I had it, so we'll see. Yeah, that sounds better. Okay, and right here, that is too harsh. So I need to change this to the velocity tool. I'll bring it down to 27 maybe. This could come down a little. That feels better. metronome, it's off the metronome a little bit. Okay. That already feels a lot better. That's interesting. So when I play the higher D sharp and then the lower D sharp, it sounds exactly the same. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about that one, but we will keep it there and then see if I can find something else. Honestly, this is pretty. Okay, so I think I like this sound. It needs to be coupled with something else though. That was not good. 2, 3, 4, 1. Maybe I'll just let it start off. 2, 3, 4, 1. It's off a little bit, but I played that too early. Okay, I'm gonna stop there because the metronome is off beat. This is why you always need to start recording with the metronome. Yeah, it's all off beat. we're just gonna leave that for now. I'm probably gonna use strings. I don't want to use strings because I always use them, but I wanted to come up with something new. Maybe this could work. Okay, those beeping noises you can control with your modulation wheel. I accidentally figured that out just now. Now what just popped in my mind is if I move everything over one measure, and I would start this earlier. I don't like it though because it's too wobbly. Let's see, what does this sound like? No, you can... Okay, so this is a nice sound. This could be a very nice background noise, coupled with strings. So right now I'm playing E flats, and first I played an octave higher and then I played an octave lower. And right there, I would want to change the chord. Okay, this is actually starting to build out nicely. That didn't work. That did not work at all. I have this nice chord. And then I want to come up with another one after that that sounds good. That ties into the track. But I do need some reverb. This is gonna be sounds better. Okay, so one of my friends said that I need to use Space Designer instead of, wait, where is that again? Instead of Realm for strings. But my thing is, I don't really fully understand it at this point. Wait, that sounds perfectly fine. That sounds good. Yeah, Realm has a long tail, which you can edit out by using decay. Just make that a lower number. But Space Designer sounds pretty good for right now. Okay, so that sounded pretty good, actually. Those last notes did not sound great. I'm going to duplicate the track, mute this one, and we'll try it again. I know that I'm going to have to go back and figure out what to do with the next set of chords, but I just want to play it again. It's so much fun. Okay, right there is where I need to figure out what other chords I want. What's the next part sound like? I can just look at what note that is. That is going to be an F. Something's coming. Something's. Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, so that definitely needs some work, but it's a solid idea right now. Let's go back and listen to what we have so far. Okay, this note I want to change it. Okay, so I do think this last note here actually works. Okay, now there are a couple things I want to change. Right here, I'm going to make it a little bit more, sound a little bit better, and by doing that, I think I'm actually going to change it back to realm. I think I like how that sounds better, and I'm going to have to go into here, and I need to make sure these melody notes overlap each other a little bit. It creates a smooth transition between the notes, and this is very important, especially for strings. Oops, I don't know why I did that. Right here, I could definitely hear, even though there's a little bit of an overlap, I could definitely hear a gap. Oh, and then I need to fix the automation. So this modulation needs to start right at the beginning. Otherwise, you'll hear what it just did. It jumps from quiet to loud really abruptly. If you started off where you want it to, then it's a nice smooth transition. Except that wasn't very smooth. It starts off a little too loud in my opinion. Let's try this. There we go. It's overpowering the piano right now. Okay, so right there, first of all, I don't need these notes here. Maybe I could have this come in a little bit earlier. Actually, I think it's pretty perfect where it is right now, but let's try this. Oh, that's good. I don't want it to overpower the piano. Right there, I'm gonna relayer some higher notes there, because I feel like we lose something. Also, I wanted to write down in my notes that, oops, measure 5 could could use some light brass. This is totally like not a stripped version of the theme now. We'll see. Okay, so now that I've got the brass loaded up, I'm gonna go and give it a shot. I think I already have some nice ideas for it, but we'll play around with it and, I don't know, see what happens. Okay, so that's pretty good. I think I played it a little bit quiet, so I'm going to turn up the volume. And then the strings here at the end, I'm going to extend them a little bit. Oh, I guess I didn't have that piece there. Where do I want it to go? I'll just go here. And then the automation needs to fade out to there. Let's see how that sounds. Great. Okay, I think it's starting to sound really good. Let's listen through it. Oh, see? Here I forgot to put the modulation down. Okay, so I just had an idea. Also, I did mention earlier that I wanted to, at this section with the strings, I wanted to continue this these higher chords, but I think I like how it drops down into the lower section. So I'm gonna just leave it like that. But what I do now want to do is I want to get some trumpets, or maybe French horns or something, and I'm gonna be playing the melody there. Because I feel like what the brass is doing right now, it's taking away from the melody. And even though I love that brass section, and I am gonna keep it in, it is not the theme. What the piano is playing in the higher part is the theme. And I feel like we're missing that once I add that specific brass in. No, not for this one at least. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty nice. So this is gonna load up and then I'll get back to you guys. Well, I guess I didn't have to cut it because that loaded really fast. So I'm gonna just label this here as solo French horn. Okay, I hope I can play the melody correctly. Right here I think is fine. So I didn't actually play that loud enough. So this here is the piano part that I'm following. Oh. So it actually goes out of the range of the French horn. That's fine, I'll just switch it with some trumpets at that spot. But let me re-record that part again. Where does it start? Okay, it starts right there. We'll try it down an octave, maybe that can work. That's fine. We'll turn up the volume a little bit. Not sure how much I like it, but I'm gonna go back up another octave and lower this part here. Maybe I'll just single these out and see how it sounds. I feel like I'm gonna have to raise this volume of this one. Okay, so what I noticed here is that the automation was not correct, or more specifically the modulation. So this is the higher one. As you can see, I didn't start moving the wheel until here, and I do want it to be this louder volume throughout the rest of the thing. And let's play it together. that failed. I'm not sure if that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm just gonna label it Celeste for now. Wait, it could actually work. Okay, so that's recorded. Let's hear what it sounds like with and without. Actually, I do like it without it better. And I'm actually going to delete it. The reason why I like that better without it is because the Celeste kind of has this really high-pitched, uncomfortable feeling in the ear, which I know I could EQ it out, but then once I muted it, I realized that the brass combined with the piano and the very minimal strings kind of has this nice rich feeling, which is exactly the sound I wanted. And it was already there. I was adding too much, so I think right now it's really good. I'm just going to listen through it once. Okay, there we go. That is that one. Now we'll just export it, change the sample rate, and that is going to be going into the stripped, and I'm going to change this here to complete and export it. This is how we made the home theme for
the A Day in the Life of an Astronaut album.
This is my friend Joshua Hankins, a cellist and a composer.
And today David and I will be recording the live cello solo for this track.
This is what I get for having a cello all day. I think so. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's there's 2 flats or something. So.
Oh, it's B flat.
B flat.
Yeah. B flat has 2.
Can I monitor myself as well?
Okay, I wanted to be able to record the computer audio so that you guys could hear the track as Josh was recording, but I don't have time for that right now. We're kind of on a time crunch. At the end of the video though, stay for that and you'll be able to see and hear the whole thing. Nice.
That was awesome.
Right there a little bit. But then it warms out again. Maybe I could take some of that brown off.
Who would spend $900 on a 49 curved gaming monitor?
Okay. You ready?
Sure. I totally forgot everything. Also, you're playing. you're playing the other piece in the background, so, or the first recording. That's why.
I'm so sorry, bro. Oh my goodness.
It was guiding me, but also showing me where I am supposed to be on the strings.
The ending part's fine though because we do have other takes. That
Yeah.
Good on that. That you ate with that one.
Did I?
Yeah.
What were the looks for it?
No, because I was like, bro, that's so good.
Oh. Okay.
Those were the looks.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, great. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed seeing this process. Be on the lookout for this EP to drop, and if you haven't yet, go back and listen to the A Day in the Life of an Astronaut album. Anyway, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.